sure they can get us out here.
Here to talk to you.
All right. I'm Deputy Frankie with the Sheriff's Office.
Can I pay the money back, please? I can't go to jail. It's off my grandma and everything. I can't go to jail.
You got $3,100?
I can pay me if I can do something.
That's not on my hands. That's on them.
A Burlington cashier, a Palm Beach County detective, and a register key that let $3,000 walk out the door. On August 1st, 2023, loss prevention at Burlington Coat Factory handed a Palm Beach County Sheriff's detective a 3-week case already built, already documented. Every suspended transaction logged, every item traced back to one register, one cashier, $3,100, and not a single payment ever cleared. Here is how it worked. She would ring the items, everything looked legitimate. Then she hit F12. One keystroke suspended the transaction. No payment required. The receipt printed anyway. Merchandise walked out. Loss prevention identified 16 transactions over 3 weeks. Some customers, some fellow employees. The pattern was clear before officers ever arrived. In Florida, theft of $750 or more is a third-degree felony under Florida Statute 812.014. At $3,100, she cleared that threshold by 4 times, up to 5 years in state prison. The detective had no discretion. The statute removes that option entirely.
Good. So what's going on?
She was always the cashier. Like, she was always giving them the stuff for free.
Okay.
The other associates, I haven't found any where they're hooking her up. She's just the cashier, so she's really admitted to like $3,000, which is about what I came up with. So a minimum of $3,000 she allowed to leave the store by not properly ringing it. But I put it on here, like I kind of put, this is her, so she's responsible for, let's just say, $3 grand. The other one, from what I can see on the transactions, 16 of that is what this associate walked out with. And this one here is like a former associate she recently quit. So that's just their names. I just had all the other associates' names.
But that person you have in prison here today, she was involved in all the transactions.
She was involved in all. She was the cashier.
So she was the cashier. So she was like letting the employee leave with all those stuff.
She would ring some of the stuff up, or it looks, if anybody's looking, it looks like everything's getting rang, but then she, instead of cashing it out, they would hit suspend, so it just suspends the transaction, but she still gave them the stuff and they walked out. They never paid for it.
Like on this here, that's every one of these are items taken, or
None of that was paid for.
Okay, that's why I just want to make sure.
Yes.
So it's almost $3,100.
This is her generic statement.
Yeah, but it's not sworn to us.
No, I didn't know if you needed it.
Give me 1 second, right? Well, let me go in and talk to her. Or at least let me make contact with her over what's going on. I'm sure they can get us out here.
He's here to talk to you.
All right. I'm Deputy Frankie with the Sheriff's Office. Well, you, unfortunately, there's no choice. You're going today.
Can I pay the money back, please? I can't go to jail. It's off my grandma and everything. I can't go to jail.
You got $3,100?
When the detective made contact, she immediately said she could not go to jail. He asked one question. She offered to make payments. She offered a payment plan. She said she was wrong. None of that changes what the statute requires at $3,100. Before any questioning could begin, the detective read her Miranda rights. Each element confirmed one by one. She confirmed each right. Then, unprompted, she said she was sorry. She was wrong. That is a spontaneous statement, admissible regardless of Miranda status. Then the detective walked her through the records, specific transactions, specific dates, and asked her to explain. She said she did not know half the people. She said some were mistakes. She said the receipt came out and she did not know whether to suspend it. Most people would stop talking at this point. She did not stop talking at this point.
I can pay me if I can do something.
That's not on my hands. That's on them. But they want everything right now. They're prosecuting.
Can I please make payments? I can't go to jail. I just love my grandma this morning. I can't.
I know, that's awful. I mean, I can't, like I said, I go with the corporate.
I can't go to jail. I really can't go to jail.
I
I'm a single mom. I can make payments. I can do a payment plan. Please just talk to them. I can't go to jail.
Right, and I did, I know it's tough, but I did, and they, it's.
Please, can you call them back and talk to them and explain to them? I can't go to jail, sir.
I will call them back, but I don't know that it's gonna.
Please,
I tell them
just
anything.
talk to them. I can't go to jail. I can't.
I will call them, but just talk to this guy while
He
he's
gonna
here.
take me
Maybe
to jail.
Well, first we're going to talk, and then we'll go from there.
first and just, but I will go step out and call. But like I said, I did tell them all that ahead of time, you know.
I can make payment
They
plans.
based
I
on,
can,
you know,
I can do anything. Just
the
tell them,
amount.
please don't
I
take me to
understand.
jail.
I understand.
I was wrong. Please don't take me to jail.
Okay.
Please.
We'll talk to this guy, all right?
All right, what's your name, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to read you Miranda because we are going to talk. So just make sure you acknowledge everything that I say, all right? You have the right to remain silent and not answer any questions. Do you understand?
Yes.
Any statement must be freely and voluntarily given. Do you understand? I just need a yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. You have the right to an attorney of your choice or a court-appointed attorney before you make any statement or any question. Do you understand? I can make no promise to induce you to make a statement. This must be in your own free will. Do you understand? Any statement can and will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand your rights so far?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to speak to me what happened? Because we got a lot of stuff here. So, would you like to talk to me about what's going on, or?
Hello?
I'm sorry?
I was wrong.
Okay, well, I mean, I know you've spontaneously uttered that a few times. What I'm getting at is, okay, so we have all these transactions that were not rung up, okay? You with me so far?
Yes.
And some of these were for employees that work here, correct? Okay, so do you want to explain, like we have one that's on layaway, like what happened? What happened here? I mean, did you ring it up and just let them walk out and not pay for the product? Is that what's happening?
You.
Okay, tight. And he's going to call corporate, so nothing's official yet, but we are going to talk because. So they've got you. They say about almost $3,100 in items so far.
But like I don't even know half of them people. I told it might was a mistake for some of them, but they're saying that the receipt came out after they put their card there, and the receipt came out. I didn't know if I suspended or not. I just explained that to them. Some of them people I don't even know.
Oh, explain. I don't understand what you mean by suspend. That's what I don't understand. What does that mean? So, like this one here has your name, right?
Yes.
So this was a transaction for 13 items on the 28th, right? So, and it says status suspended. What does that mean?
The transaction was suspended.
Okay, was that a declined card or?
Let me see what it was. No, it just was. I just canceled the whole transaction.
All right, so you suspended that transaction, right? So your end of day count is not looking for that money because that transaction was suspended, correct? So we have a total of it's like $103. So did you allow the product to leave the store?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that the transaction was suspended?
The detective asked about one transaction in particular, 13 items, status suspended. He asked whether she knew the transaction was suspended when the merchandise left the store. She said yes, that one word is the intent element under Florida Statute 812.014. Knowledge confirmed on camera after Miranda. She also confirmed the layaway cancellation a customer returned the next day. The layaway was canceled and the product still left the store. She said yes to that one too. When the detective asked why she said she thought she was helping a person. The detective also raised scheme to defraud. When a cashier facilitates theft for others without keeping the product, Florida law treats that as a separate charge. She did not benefit materially. The people who walked out did.
Is that something you?
This the one. No.
This is what it says.
One person used the card. She put her card in, but the receipt still came out. He said I put suspended, so the receipt still came out. So he said I suspended it, and the items did leave the store.
Okay, so the transaction was suspended. You knew it was suspended. And
not this one. It's another one that I knew was suspended.
Okay, so regardless, how does it go in suspended? Is it because a payment wasn't accepted, or there was no payment, or is it something you have to do?
You can press F2. You can press your number on there and they'll suspend it.
Okay, so that's happened, and so you knew that this transaction was suspended for whatever reason, and you
Not
allowed the
on
product to
all of
leave?
them.
I'm sorry?
Not on all of them because the receipt will come out. If they put their phone right there, it won't tell me if you want to pay. It's just a receipt will come out.
Okay, but does it always have suspended? I mean, every one of these receipts has suspended on them.
That's what the system said.
Okay, and I also have one here, I'm looking for it, that was a layaway, that they came back in the next day, that layaway was then canceled, and then the product still left the store.
Yes.
So I guess what I'm getting at here is, I mean, you're knowing allowing this stuff to leave the store, correct?
The layaway, yes.
So why would you do that?
I told her I was helping a person.
Are you getting any kickback for that? Are are they giving you anything for this product, or how long you work for Burlington?
I started in March.
In March?
Yes.
Because they also got video, which they're going to provide us for all these transactions. So, I guess another question is, how do you pick and choose who you're allowing to leave without paying for product? Because some of these are associates that work here.
Two of them are.
Two of them were definitely associates that we know of. Is there something they do that they told you about? Because, I mean, they coming up to you asking, I mean, do you know them from like the neighborhood? I mean, how do you know them? Are they just, other than work?
Two of them work. One of them I know.
That works here?
Yeah.
Do you know them prior to working here?
Yeah.
And then did they tell you that this goes on?
No.
You ever been arrested before?
No.
You ever been in trouble?
No.
All right. I know he's talking to some people, but as of right now, if this goes the way it is, it's a felony. You will have to take if they do decide to prosecute. It's up to them. They could turn around and be like, "We'll work something out with you." I have no control over that. If they do, the only thing I would definitely be cognizant of is that this is a felony. So they have a certain amount of time that they can report this without any repercussions. So if they decide to work out a payment plan, which I have no control over at all, and you fail on that payment plan, they can call us right back. And with everything I have here, and after speaking with you, there's without a doubt probable cause for a felony theft of $3,000. So if that's something that they allow to happen, again, I have no control. Then it's something that you need to stay with, because there's enough here. I mean, there's $1,000. You could almost be charged with a scheme to defraud. If you're working with other people to defraud Burlington, that's another charge on top of it. It's not just a theft of $3,000 because you didn't keep the product. You don't have it. You allowed it to walk out. So there's a charge on the books. It's called a scheme to defraud, which is you're facilitating it and other people are benefiting from it. Because you're not benefiting. You didn't get any of the product. It's not like it's sitting in the car waiting for you to get out, unless you all are taking it and reselling it on the outside. I get it. Listen, times are tough, right? I get it. Trust me, I understand that. But you also have to understand, too, that you're not talking a couple hundred, $3,000. You've been here since March.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Yeah, they were prosecuted.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to have to, I am going to be cordial, and I'm going to respect you. We're going to get everything we need from him. We're going to walk you out like normal. If you give us any indication that you're not going to cooperate, you're going in cuffs. You're going to go in cuffs at one point, but instead of what they call perp walking you to the store and embarrassing you in front of all these people, we can do it cordially, and then we can go outside, because this isn't going to be you get released or you're going to go to county. So you're going to buy that. I mean, if it was a misdemeanor, I could release you on scene. I can't. This is $3,000. I can't do that. So you have to. You're gonna have to see a judge. If you ain't got no record.
Stay the night in there?
What's that?
I gotta stay the night?
It's a felony. If we don't get you down there quick enough, yeah. I can't undo that. But if you got a good record, no history, you know, there might be an ROR. That's up to the judge. Where do you stay at? Okay, so guess what? I'll take you out there. All right? Because I can take you to gun club, which means someone got to come all the way over here to coast to get you. I can take you out to the Glades, which is where we're supposed to take you. And then when you get out, you're right there. All right? I'm going to do as best I can. As long as you cooperate with us and be cordial, then we can work. And he's with me. We got you. We can take care of this. But if you start acting up, cuffs and all the way through. All right?
Where's your purse?
In the locker.
All right.
In her vehicle.
All right.
She's got what she wants out of it. So if you want to go back to the sub with me and help me do the property real quick.
All right.
And then we can get her down where we gotta go. Like I said, man, if you cooperate, let's go this route. If you don't,
Well, you want to leave your stuff in the car?
the bag.
All right.
She's gonna take a couple items that she needs and the rest of it. Show us where your car is. One of us will take that out there and drop it off. Once you go to my car, we have to go in cuffs, and then we'll give you a double them up. And we'll transport you to our district to do our paperwork. We're not going to do it here in front of this store.
This is the black Impala.
What's that?
This is the black Chevy
This
Impala.
black Chevy Impala?
All
All right, you want to get that in the keys? This is me right here. We'll try and make it as comfortable as we can, right? It ain't built for comfort. Hold on, we got one. We're going to double it up, which will give you a little bit more freedom, all right?
Then he offered her a choice: cooperate and he would walk her out of the store without handcuffs visible to customers, or not cooperate and go out in cuffs through the entire store floor. She cooperated. He was as good as his word. No perp walk, dignified exit. The detective offered to transport her to a closer facility. None of that was required. She was charged with third-degree felony theft. She received 9 months probation. No jail that day. Then she was charged with petty theft while on probation, which put the original felony sentence right back on the table. The detective gets a B+. He built a clean Miranda advisement and let the subject talk she obliged at every step. He offered a dignified exit when he did not have to. One flag introducing the scheme to defraud charge mid-interrogation while she was in visible distress creates implicit pressure. Under Colorado v. Connelly, courts weigh the full emotional context when evaluating waiver voluntariness. Factually accurate, but defense attorneys will flag it. She gets a D. She admitted the entire scheme, the method, the specific transaction, the layaway, the intent, all of it on camera after being read her rights. She had one constitutional option that cost her nothing: remain silent and ask for a lawyer. She waived it. Then she talked for 11 minutes. Her cooperation likely influenced the 9-month probation sentence. Then she stole again while on probation. There is a constitutional right to remain silent. She declined to use it twice. 3 lessons. First, a suspended transaction is not invisible. Modern retail systems log every register action, every manual suspension, every keystroke. Loss prevention does not need to catch you in the act. They pull a report, identify the pattern, and hand law enforcement a complete case. Second, the Miranda warning is the last moment you have to stop talking without consequences. After that, every word becomes evidence. Requesting an attorney is a constitutional right. It does not signal guilt. Waiving it and talking does far more damage than silence ever could. Third, probation is not freedom. Any new charge while on supervision puts the original felony sentence back on the table. She avoided jail after a felony conviction, then stole again on probation. That is not bad luck. It is a choice with a predictable outcome. If there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to cover, let us know in the comments. Subscribe for weekly body cam analysis the moment suspects do not expect to end up on camera. We will see you in the next one.